afternoon, Whale Fam. Super excited to see you all again. We had a really exciting office hours this morning. And now we're going to be talking with the Pixalyfe team again, looking at not only the PixaWizards and the PixaBrews that we had from last time, but now there are also PixaWyverns. So super exciting stuff coming from the team. And we'll be featuring them during Marbles later. So this is a really awesome day. Pixalyfe folks, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for having us again. We're really excited to be here and talk about our new parts of our project.
This is very good. And so we have on the screen your website, which is just PixaWizards.com. And I will post that in the Discord as well, so that way everybody is able to check it out and follow along. And we have on the screen, we're showing PixaWizards and PixaBrews, and that's kind of where you started. So if people missed the last time that you were here, do you want to give us a brief overview of like where you started in the space, so that way we can have a good foundation for all the exciting things that are happening now?
So yeah, so we found out about NFTs about late January, and did a lot of research into it, and kind of were looking at lots of the cool projects at the time. It was kind of right before it really got extremely popular, and we were trying to brainstorm different ideas of what we could do that was kind of cool. And we started to get a little bit into pixel art, and we like to travel, and so that's kind of where PixaBrews came from. You know, we like to try different beers when we go to different places when we travel. So that's kind of where that idea came from, and just learned a lot from that experience making that collection and talking to tons of people, and then we kind of wanted to fix some of the things that we thought were maybe more mistakes that we made with the PixaBrews, like figuring out a little bit more about token types and what kind of people wanted from like the collectible perspective, and then we came out with PixaWizards, and that was more kind of like this generative art type thing where we both kind of have different skill sets. Like I was able to kind of do the generative part, and
I did all the artwork for that, and we were able to bring it together, which was really cool.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and yeah, it was cool to talk. We talked to so many people, and people really seemed to resonate with the wizard ideas. So that was, yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and we've kind of created this idea of the Pixaverse out of it. So they all exist on different worlds, and we're kind of populating that metaverse with different creatures, and going forward different factions, and yeah, so that's been a lot of fun.
That has been super exciting. And so that's how you were here last month. It was actually right before St. Patrick's Day, wasn't it? Because we had, or maybe on St. Patrick's Day, because we had the St. Patrick's Day brew that was really exciting. And looking at those, looking at the wizards that are very animated and fabulous with all of their accessories. And so that was something that we had gone through and explored. And at the time, you were giving us some hints about what was coming next, because we had the wizards and people were asking about things like orcs or elves or creatures. And we have got into the creatures now, haven't we? So we're going to tell us about the wyverns. Like, how did you decide on wyverns being the next in your Pixaverse?
So yeah, we just we thought it would be cool to include something that, you know, wizards and kind of the dragon theme kind of goes together pretty well with from movies and stuff, and just popular culture, and we yeah, that's just we kind of mocked up different ideas, and just thought that these looked pretty awesome, and there was a lot of different things we could do too, with, you know, different horn types, different tails, different, you know, breathing fire or ice, or you know, we call the other one nuclear or rainbow, and then they all exist in the same worlds too, as the PixaWizards. So, you know, they're creatures, but they're kind of like, for example, in our Discord, if you have a wyvern, then you get a wyvern tamer role. So that's kind of fun. So it's kind of like the wizard's pets, if you want to think of it that way.
And with the wyvern tamer role, is that something that you need to go in and claim if you already had a PixaWizard role?
Yes, so you have to so yeah, there's a role verification bot that handles that, and so you have to go in there on our Discord and re-verify. And we have a whole bunch of different roles now. It's been a lot of fun seeing people. You know, we have if you own 5 wizards, then you're a wizard whale, and yeah, there's different levels to it. And yeah, it's been, I think people like that aspect too.
All right, and I've got a link to the Discord that I've just posted in the chat as well for people who are interested in checking this out and either have wizards or wyverns or both. Because here they are. So I really like this, how in Rarible you actually have the different sets, and there are only 250 of these as opposed to the 1,000 wizards that we had before. So what was the thought process here? Because not all wizards are going to have pets, or at least not all wizards will have wyverns.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to come out with more creature collections than factions. So we kind of thought it'd be cool to have, you know, people get to pick whatever kind of pet they want for their wizard, or, you know, going forward, the different factions we're going to come out with. So yeah, it's just kind of thought it would be kind of interesting to have more choice with the creatures, and then and then kind of more availability for the factions. So yeah.
So here we have 25% of the total wizard supply in wyverns, and we can see, just scrolling through on Rarible here, we've got a pretty, you know, purple distribution, at least in the first couple, but these ash ones are a little bit more scarce. Some of the colors, or even the different types of fire, some don't even breathe fire. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah, so it's same kind of idea, different combinations made for, you know, people look for different things. So for example, that one on the left there, number 8, has breathing rainbow fire, and so that's a little bit more rare. And it exists on a rarer world, Cebulo, but at the same time it's got you know, it doesn't have horns and is maybe a little bit less rare of a dragon, or less rare of a wyvern, because it's a gold one. But yeah, it's kind of the game aspect of the whole thing. You know, you got to go through the collection and kind of make a decision of what you think is kind of a cool combination for what you think it looks cool, and also the kind of rarity aspect to it as well.
And they have some interesting differences, because not only, as you mentioned, you know, the horns, some have short horns like this one, then there's no horns at all, or the longer horns that are kind of laying back on their heads. And they got some fancy tails too, whether there's like just a single set of spikes or this full fluffy tail. And I will say I'm not as up on all of the wyvern traits, so let's take a peek and see what they're called. And this one's an interesting one. So the tail has spikes and a 5.8, so that's a pretty good one in terms of, you know, having a higher rarity.
Yeah, and we're gonna tie in some, you know, you can imagine, like, well, the way we think about it is like
so with the horns, how we kind of designed it is the ones with no horns are like the younger dragons, and then the shorter horns are a little bit older, and then the long horns are the more elderly dragons. Was kind of the idea behind that.
And that'll kind of be brought into the different things we're working on with games and kind of the more interactive element eventually. But that's kind of the thought process behind that. And yeah.
So that's an interesting progression to have, you know, not only the features, but the story to accompany it. I like the fact that you have that, you know, kind of planned out, so that way we can keep an eye on the further progression of the Pixaverse here. And with the, we've got these wizards and we've got these wyverns now. And so what is the next step in the Pixaverse? What are we going to do with our wizards and our wyverns?
So we have the initial model of our game coming out very soon. We have a little demo that we can show.
Yeah. So it's kind of an arcade game. And basically, the idea of it is it's called Pixarun, and you're essentially avoiding obstacles in the different worlds in the Pixaverse, and yeah, so it's going to be we have it. We're very close to releasing it. This is just a little teaser, and probably the way it'll work is we'll get some feedback from our community and kind of where they want us to take it, and the other cool thing about it too is that we have the kind of technical team now to be able to incorporate things like token verification. So this game's only going to be able to be played if you have a PixaWizard. So again, kind of making an exclusive thing to the people that bought wizards and supported us over the last few months. So yeah, I think they'll be pretty excited when this comes out. Hopefully, we're really close, so hopefully we'll see this in the next week or so.
That's exciting. And did you say this is going to be a browser-based game then, or what are we looking at for
Yes,
integration?
so it's going to be a browser-based game. So you'll go onto a link off our website and log in with your MetaMask, and it'll check if you have a wizard token, and then if you do, then you'll gain access to that web page.
And it will pull in your specific wizards as well. Will you get to choose if you have more than one?
So for this first version, you won't, but that is definitely going to be.
Yeah, that's something we're going to be adding into it going forward.
That's exciting. So I think the having the approach of at least the demo version to start and kind of getting the ground and getting a lot of playtesting feedback early on, and then being able to integrate additional features as you grow, that's a really good foundation. I like that.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of the NFT space, I'm sure like that things move extremely fast, but we've been making sure take our time and make sure it kind of builds slowly, and I think that's we'll slowly be coming out with things over the next few months that'll build onto this, and also interactive components with the collection itself as well, with an interactive map to kind of go through the whole collection, and that'll exist for the wyverns as well.
Nice. And somebody had asked in chat, they want to know if they'll be able to use both the wizards and the wyverns in the game, because they are really excited. They want a dragon familiar, so maybe this could be kind of close.
Yes, we will. So when it first comes out in the next week or so, it's only going to be the wizards right now, but we will be adding the wyverns in.
That'll be interesting as well to see how they change the gameplay, if they do.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to integrate that for sure into the way that this works.
That's super exciting. And so with your wyverns that have been released, I know that you did a pre-sale earlier this week for wizard holders, and now we are in the public sale phase. Is that correct? How's that been going so far?
So the pre-sale went really well. How many did we sell?
About 50.
Yeah, around 50 for that. So we were really happy with that. And then we've slowly now started to release them so they're open for anyone to buy. So we have a drop happening later tonight.
Yeah, and the majority of them should be available by the end of the weekend. Probably we'll be doing them in drops of about 25. And if you want to see the schedule, it's in our pinned tweet on our Pixalyfe Twitter, or it's also available in our Discord if you're in there. So we're releasing those publicly, over the next little while, and yeah, the pre-sale was kind of what we were hoping to do, is we were trying to figure out a way to make sure that, especially near the end of the Wizards project and at the start of this one, that kind of the Wizard holders got the first opportunity and at a less
like a lower price.
So yeah, so that's kind of the way that we went with that. So,
and that, I think, is a really cool thing to see from creators, being able to find ways to reward and incentivize early adopters to continue participating, in the project as it grows. Because definitely, like, having the wizards was really cool, and we saw early on that, people got their wizards and were really hyped about getting them based on things like the rarity, or whether they were, rainbow wizards or the pyro swords, or even, the lawn chair, deck chair, vertical stripe type wizards. And those were, like a really fun thing to see the community growing in that way. And now we're integrating new creatures. Have you seen in the first couple of days here of the PixaWyverns that same type of activity in the community?
Yeah, for sure. So the interesting thing that we kind of did with releasing them on the pre-sales, we didn't release the trait distributions, or which was kind of the rare traits to begin with. So that kind of generated a lot of discussion between kind of members of our community to see which ones were rare.
And that's definitely something that, is curious going on, because then you have, as a collector, the sort of, decision to make whether you're looking for, the wyverns that are more rare because of the traits, whether it's their environment or, their horn or aesthetic style, or are you getting them because they're rare? Are you getting them simply because they look really awesome? Like, that is a big decision, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Like, we've talked to people about they really want to get to a wyvern that's in the same world as their wizard is. So that's been a big. We've heard that a lot through the pre-sale and now into this weekend.
Yeah, that was something that I was looking at as well. And I will say, like, I do have more than, one wizard, so it gives me a little bit of an advantage with finding environments, so that way they can be all matchy. But also, like, there were some, like, I ended up not getting a Caverna wizard before, so then I was like, well, maybe there'll be some wyverns that come out that are kind of hanging out in the cool, like, crystal caves, and looks neat. So I'm torn. I need to keep stalking the website here to see what's going on.
For sure. And that's what was interesting too, because the way that we generate them, it's completely random, and we put probabilities for each of the worlds, but sometimes it just works out that the way it was generated, certain things become a lot more rare than what we were anticipating. So for example, Caverna is fairly rare this time around, compared to the probability that it should have shown up with. And then other worlds, like I think Bruma is the one. The snow world, Bruma, is a lot more common this time around than it was with the wizards. So that's kind of a cool aspect too, that it's kind of the luck of the draw even on our end, where we generate them and we say, okay, this is it. This is the collection.
So saying my rainbow wizard has a chance of finding a matching wyvern.
Yes.
Yes, he's ready. That's really exciting. And so we had some questions in the chat. Gojaz wondering if you, and I know currently it doesn't exist, but do you have plans at all for having a breeding system in the game as you move forward with any of the tokens?
So I actually saw it because I'm pretty sure Cybercoms came out with their breeding system today. It's pretty interesting, but it's possible in the future that we'll do that, but probably our focus for the near term is getting kind of this game aspect figured out and really high quality, and that's kind of our focus right now. But it's really it's a cool aspect to be able to breed, if you could breed wyverns and stuff.
That would be really awesome. I think that's something we'll definitely look into in the future, and we'd love to have something like that.
That would be exciting to see as well. So, like, I'm really excited that you keep coming out with new things, and the Pixalyfe universe is growing. We're gonna have a game that people will be able to play, and that's soon. We'll have more wyverns soon. And somebody had asked in chat as well if there are rarities, and I know that we had touched on that a little bit. So with the rarities, that had previously been on the Pixalyfe website for the PixaWizards. Let's see where we find those.
We can post a link in the chat here too of the rarities for the wyverns.
We have the rarities.
That would be helpful, yes.
Yeah, we have the rarities. Right now, they're posted in our Discord. So maybe I'll just post the invite link to our Discord into the chat on Whale, so that people can come look. But it's we did the same kind of idea for the wizards, and outlined kind of the trait distributions behind each trait. So
those were, let's see, and this is the cool page that you've recently made for the wizards. So can we expect to see something like this for the wyverns moving forward as well? And I know this is new and shiny, and they flip when you mouse over them, which is great.
And then if you click on them, they go to OpenSea, the OpenSea link.
So you can see all the trading history for each one on there. And we're going to be coming out with this for the wyverns very soon too.
Yeah, and the links and the domains and stuff we're still messing around with. So it's still probably expect our website to look a lot different in about a week. We kind of have the technical team now. We have 2 or 3 people working with us now that we've hired to help us with these things, both the game and the website and kind of implementing this stuff. So and they've been awesome. Let's give them a shout out now because they've been so great. Their Discord names are Joff and Code, Bill and Adam, and Needleman. They're all awesome developers. So if anyone is looking for a good developer, I can definitely vouch for those people.
Those are your people. Awesome. Let's see, and I found in the Discord, there we go, the PixaWyvern distribution. So we can see that the most common, it looks like, are ruby for the colors, rainbow being the least common, and then types of horns, spikes and their fires and their environments. So Caverna is still so rare. Oh my goodness. The struggle is real. And so we have the, similar to what was in the PixaWizard white paper, having that distribution with the chart as well, and that's for their scores, their rarity scores.
Yeah, and it's like that trade index, for if people are listening don't know, it's kind of an approximate way to figure out how many rare traits your wyvern has, or the wyvern that you're looking at has. So it's not necessary, people look at it in different ways, but overall it's kind of like an approximate way to look at, okay, well, how many out of the 5 categories, how many rare traits does the wyvern have? So
that is good. And we had a question in chat wondering what inspirations you have for the development of the project. Were there other projects that you saw or games, or where'd you get the inspiration to make such a very fantasy magical universe.
Yeah, well, when we were looking into it, there doesn't seem to be like this, like no one had really gone down the route of wizards yet. So that was kind of what, when we had first looked into it on OpenSea and stuff.
Yeah, looking for something unique that hadn't really been done before, and we love fantasy and stuff. So
Yeah, and we both kind of played things like Pokemon and Zelda and that kind of stuff as a kid. And we have a Switch now. We play, the Breath of the Wild Zelda all the time. So that's kind of where some of this fantasy type theme came from. And the other thing that we do too in our free time is, I don't know if anyone out there knows about Warhammer or miniature painting type things.
Yes, I think I'm in the Warhammer Discord server actually.
Nice. Yeah, so we got into that a lot during COVID, actually, during the lockdown. So that's kind of been an inspiration too. We paint little wizard-like things all the time and play games like Warhammer and Gloomhaven too, and those types of games.
Oh, Gloomhaven is fun.
Yes. We're just getting into that one. We have what's the Jaws of the Lion? Yeah. So it's like the kind of more simpler version, but we're really getting into it now. So
nice. And I would say I played Gloomhaven, both the physical board game version, and then there's actually the version that you can get in the desktop board gaming and
cool.
Steam. So there's a online version as well for distributed play.
Cool. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
But now we'll have Wizards and Wyverns to play as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's been fun. We've really embraced our nerd side during all of COVID. So this was a natural progression for us when we found out about NFTs, and we thought, wow, we can create our own worlds now, and just seeing how excited people were, it's been a lot of fun. So
Love it. I love it. So as we had mentioned at the beginning of the stream, we're actually going to be doing marbles on stream as we normally do on Saturday night, but tonight we'll be giving away, thanks to the generosity of your team, 2 PixaWizards and 2 PixaWyverns as the NFTs for the night. So that's pretty exciting. Is there anything else before we take a short break between now and the stream that we haven't covered and you want to share with the community? I'm really excited to see the progress that you've made so far.
Yeah, I think just if you're interested in this game that's coming out, we're really, really close. We'll be updating people on Twitter and our Discord. So feel free to join our Discord so that you stay up in the loop on that.
Yeah, and once it does come out, we'd love feedback. It's really important to us to have the community involved and to take their input and hopefully build on that. So
awesome. And I love that, the fact that you are so involved with the community and taking the feedback and then really applying that, as we've seen the progression from the PixaBrews to the PixaWizards, now to the Wyverns, and then the game. And once we get all the Wyverns out in the game, do you have any plans for what's coming next that you're able to release, or we're still just here?
So we're definitely going to be releasing more factions and creatures, and actually we have a cool idea of how we're going to do that. So we're not ready to necessarily say anything yet, but it's definitely going to, because we have this technical team that's so good now, helping us, we've hired on. I think you'll see a lot more complexity and a lot more kind of, impressive interface to be able to, choose different factions, choose different creatures off of our website to be able to mint. So that's definitely coming, and we're going to be working on that for the next, month or two. But definitely stepping up our game in terms of the technical side. So.
Fantastic. And that's really exciting to hear. I love it every time you guys come around and we have these conversations. Like, I get more hyped than I was the last time. Like, first we've got, the animated wizard. Now I've got flappy fire-breathing wyverns, and then there's even more complex stuff coming later. So,
Yes, exactly.
my gosh. That's exciting. And I really appreciate you taking the time to come chat with us again, give us the update on what you've been working on. There was a lot of anticipation leading up to the release, and I can see you did not disappoint. This is exciting.
Yeah, it's been so nice to be on here again and be able to talk about our new things. And the Wyverns have been so much fun to work on. We're really happy with how that's gone.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us again. It's been fun to talk again. I'm excited for Marvels too.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Marvels again.
Fantastic. So we will close out the stream for now. I'm going to get everything swapped over, and we will do Marbles starting in about 25 minutes for the Whale Fam hanging out here in the server chilling, or anybody else who'd like to join Marbles. Absolutely come check it out. There are wizards and wyverns to be won in addition to whales. So good times for all for sure. And Pixalyfe team, thank you very much for your time. It has been awesome. And I'm sure we will be back again as you keep doing amazing things.
Yeah,
thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.